Game 1 on the road. That's the same thing the San Antonio Spurs did in that memorable win on Monday in Oklahoma City. Game 2, more of the same. Just remarkable high-level basketball, back and forth, and look out! Stephon Castle rises up. Isaiah Hartenstein, nothing you could do. Wemby couldn't believe it. Here's how it sounded in San Antonio on the radio.
Castle, he goes to work. Castle, oh my goodness! In the face of Isaiah Hartenstein with a right-hand tomahawk slam. Man!
Great look at the NBC broadcast as they reacted in real time as well. But it's only worth 2 points, and it's a 5-point lead for the home team. Make that 7 in transition. Alex Caruso feeds the MVP. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, brilliant in this game throughout. They're up 7. Hartenstein trying to deal with Wembanyama, and that's a whole lot to deal with. Here, the ball fake, but the nice defense turns into a steal. San Antonio turned it over a bunch. I'm going to get a box score and get eyes on that number. It was a large number. Shai puts it on the deck. King of the mid-range. Wemby had 3 first-half turnovers. Jalen Williams unfortunately left with the hamstring issue, which you know he has battled back from. He would not return in this game. A bit of a war of attrition on both sides. Down 3, he's done it again. It's not with 30 seconds left in the game, but once again, Wembanyama steps into a long-range 3, ties it at 66. Here, he plays sort of Nerf with himself. He knows the shot's off. He follows with a putback. Just, Mike Tirico put it well, mesmerizing. But so is Shai. Here, off the miss. This is an unfortunate situation as Dylan Harper, the brilliant rookie, gets tied up with Chet Holmgren. Harper would head back to the locker room, tried to come back out to the floor, but his night was done, and they're already without Fox, so that was a big loss. Here, the handles from the MVP, loses Carter Bryant, and that's Bottoms, and the lead grows back to 8. Shai to the corner. And Chet Holmgren fired up, takes it to the rim, and the building is roaring as they lead by 8. Into the 4th, it's a 5-point game. Jared McCain, this was a big one, off glass, and it rattles home, and he knows that wasn't the intention, but it doesn't matter because it went in. Then it's Shai on the floater, bucket good, the lead grows to 9. Then the corner 3 from Keldon Johnson cuts it to 6. So a 6-point game, plenty of time to go. You know, San Antonio won't go quietly. Wembanyama down low. Another 2, and it's a 5-point game. Step back, MVP stuff right there, and Shai knew just how much that mattered. 7-point lead. The threes were falling to keep San Antonio close, but now this game is basically a wrap as Shai, Caruso down the lane. Caruso's been great the first couple. 30 and 9 for Shai, and it's a 9-point victory as the Thunder improved to 9-1. They're the 4th defending champion this century to win 9 of their first 10 postseason games. 2 of the previous 3 went on to repeat as NBA champions. The Heat of 12-13 and the Lakers at the turn of the millennium. Brian Windhorst joins me, and first thing we'll get to the specifics, but this is breathtaking basketball. Like, to me, this is the game at its highest level when you're seeing these stretches of just haymakers. It's like Hagler-Hearns, first round. Yeah?
I'm exhausted. I mean, the level of effort, the level of ingenuity, the level of creativity, the level of just sheer fight that is being displayed by these two teams. I mean, the Thunder have their entire hands full trying to deal with Victor Wembanyama. They are working so incredibly hard to battle him at both ends, to counter him, to figure out a way around him, over him, behind him. They're holding him, they're shoving him, they're pushing him. And then the Spurs are dealing with guys falling down with injury. I mean, this is really, truly going to be the heavyweight aspect of this is who's going to be standing at the end. This feels like 4 games have been packed into 2. And, so tonight, I would just say, incredible strategic move by the Thunder to go with Isaiah Hartenstein as the primary defender on Victor Wembanyama, which was able to hold him down. But the injury report is going to be almost the most important thing before Game 3 because both teams lost key players tonight. I'm not sure who's going to be upright in 2 days.
Well, obviously, and we showed it in the highlight, Williams, who came back in Game 1 after sitting with the hamstring issue. They hadn't needed him. That's a hell of a luxury, a player that talented that they didn't need to win all the games they already have. But in the case of the Spurs, who are already without Fox, who's a difference maker at point guard, to lose Harper, what was the impact of his absence down the stretch in your estimation?
I think a potential loss of Dylan Harper is potentially gigantic because we've got a high ankle sprain on De'Aaron Fox. That is an injury that is not going to probably get that much better. He may be able to gut it out, but you're looking at not having him right. So then Harper looks like, a potential leg injury there, like maybe a hamstring. If that's a situation that causes him to miss time, you're just playing too thin on the perimeter. Stephon Castle is playing tremendous basketball, but he's being asked to do so much. He had 9 turnovers in this game after 11 in Game 1. They're just running out of bodies on the perimeter here. They're asking so much of their guys. And then, Jalen Williams, if that's the hamstring again, that's his 4th hamstring injury this year. And then right at the end of the game, A.J. Mitchell, who's his de facto replacement, looks like he may have injured his quad. I mean, it's crazy what's going on.
Yeah, it's, as I said when you joined me, incredible high-level basketball. We just hope that there's enough health on both sides to continue. And we'll continue this conversation in just a moment. I understand Chet Holmgren has headphones on, so I'm going to welcome him to the show. I'll welcome Brian back in a minute. Chet, thanks for taking a minute. It's Scott Van Pelt. Thanks for being here with me. We were just raving about the level of basketball, Chet. It's incredible what you two teams have brought to the table in these 2 games. You're living in the middle of it. How would you describe what's required to win a game, 1 game in this series so far?
Yeah, SVP, first of all, Kay, good to see you. It's good to be on the show with you. But yeah, this is the basketball doesn't get better than this. These 2 great teams right here, and we saw it the last 2 games. It's been a fist fight back and forth all the way down the stretch. So we can't expect anything else for the rest of the series. We just got to keep punching.
Alex Caruso explained to me last year when I asked him for some insight on Shai. He said he's not the most vocal leader. It's an example thing. What was the example from Shai in between Game 1 and then during Game 2 where he was brilliant? Is there a way to describe it, Chet?
I think just the way that he carried himself. No matter what happens, he's going to continue to walk with confidence, come in, get his work in, and everybody follows suit. And, I think it's good that the, head of the snake kind of sets that tone.
Well, and as I say, he was great tonight, and it feels like next man up. We were just talking to Brian Windhorst. I don't know how much you heard, but unfortunately, we see Jalen leave again with the hamstring issue. You guys have had to play through some of that. AJ stepped up, and maybe he gets hurt in the end, but you guys have to deal with adversity, even though you're as great as you've been. How much does that prepare you for moments like this when it is literally next man up?
Yeah, adversity can come in any form, and this is the world of athletics. Things like that happen. You never want to see it happen. For either team, everybody wants to play fully healthy, but that's part of the game. And no matter what happens, what the adversity is, we got 17 dudes who are ready. Whenever their name's called.
I know you can't hear Reggie Miller on the floor, but he said at one point, "I want to see more fire from Chet Holmgren." And right on cue, you got 2 monster dunks. How much do you recognize that your energy and your passion can be a fire starter in a sense for your teams? That makes sense?
Yeah, of course. We all have to be contagious out there. We all got to bring a punch, bring some fire, and then, that'll lead to the next guy making a big play. So just try to make big plays, play with energy, and good things will happen.
I know it's not one-on-one. But you know the guy that wears 1 on the other team, and he's a lot, but so are you. How do you describe what that specific matchup represents to you in this series?
Yeah, I mean, it's competition at the highest level. Just like you were talking about with these two teams, it's two great teams going at it. It's no different. No matter how many games this series goes, it's going to be competition.
Let me ask one more, and I appreciate your time here. Last year when we were out there for the finals, you dropped game one on your home floor. You lived it, you absorbed it, and you kept on trucking, and you had a parade. How much does that familiarity with what you now must do help this team? I see that smile and I see the head shake, right? You've lived it. I have to imagine you can lean into it, right?
Yeah. I mean, you never want to live those moments, but, you can't have the good moments without the bad. And, you learn from all of them. So we got experiences from last year that we're able to carry over. But we also understand, it's a new year. We're playing a new team. We didn't play them last year. So we have to have an awareness for that. But, certain lessons can carry over.
Thanks for taking the time afterwards. And on behalf of everybody that loves basketball, I mean, we all want to see 7, man, because this is just outrageous basketball you guys are playing. It's incredible to watch, man. Thanks for taking a minute tonight, all right?
Appreciate it. Yep, it's fun to play in, too. My man, have a good night.
Action. We'll get more thoughts from Colorado as Vegas takes game 1. The Spurs won game 1 in the Western Conference Finals in the NBA, but the Thunder get game 2. They've now played 33 postseason games since they lost 2 in a row. That's the longest streak since LeBron James and the Heat from 12 to 14, which included back-to-back titles. OKC 8-1 in game 2s under Mark Daigneault, which is the best record among 104 coaches who've been on a sideline for a game 2 at least 5 times. OKC has won each of the previous 7 series where they won game 2. Very specific math, but interesting. Thunder are 9-1 in the playoffs, the 9th defending champion to win at least 9 of their first 10. Cavaliers in 2017, the last. The previous 8 all reached the NBA Finals. 6 of them repeated as NBA champions. Victor Wembanyama, outrageous in Game 1. Not quite as good in Game 2. Still plenty good, but OKC better. His thoughts after the loss.
Not well. We got to help our ball handlers more and take care of the ball.
Obviously, without De'Aaron, it's going to lend itself to turnover issues, but are there other factors that you guys can shore up to try to cut down on?
Yeah, of course, just consistency throughout the game in our game plan. Can think of a few down moments for myself, especially in the fourth quarter.
Victor, you and Hartenstein had some huge battles on the glass there. He was able to win a lot of those. What was that battle like for you, and what do you think you guys can do better to not lose that way?
As I just said, it's all in the scouting. I have to trust the scouting. We have to trust it and do our work early. It's it's a straight effort.
Victor, what would you say is the most frustrating thing about tonight's loss?
I would say it's spending so much energy on catching back up to the score and then let it go away.
When you say it's straight effort, is it that simple, or are there some tactical, strategic kind of adjustments you can make?
What I mean is straight effort is like the tactics, we all know it by heart, but we have to, doesn't mean it's easy, and we have to work through it.
Brian Windhorst joins us again. I'm just looking at the box score and just circling numbers. 21 turnovers. I mean, that's no good. And the absence of Fox and then Harper late, that accounts for some of it. You had some thoughts on numbers as it relates to Wembanyama. What's that?
Yeah, so the move to put Isaiah Hartenstein only played 12 minutes in the first game, and there was a case to be made that he might not play almost at all because it was hard to play the two bigs. They used mostly wings on him in the first game, and I spent the last 36 hours, Scott, making the case that wasn't a bad strategy. Well, Mark Daigneault knows a little bit more than me, and so he went to playing straight bigs on him, and the difference was profound. Isaiah Hartenstein was in a full-out wrestling match with Victor the entire night. And so in game 1, Victor gets 10 baskets in the paint and 13 free throws, okay? Tonight, 3 baskets in the paint, 2 free throws. That's a massive difference. That's the effect of big on big, the effect of the malleability of the Thunder roster. And yeah, I mean, the guard play is going to be big, but if they can cut down Victor's just sheer ability to dominate in the paint, it balances the game out. Excellent adjustment by Daigneault. Excellent game. Arguably one of the best games Hartenstein's played in a Thunder uniform.
It's always about adjustments this time of year, right? It's chess. We counter your move, and we'll see what move San Antonio has in store. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 12 of 24, had 30, 3 of 6 from 3. The numbers are one thing, but in terms of what you saw, what's notable?
Yeah, this is the best game he's had in several weeks. You know, I mean, the Lakers really sold out, tried to stop him. There was definitely the Spurs game plan in game 1. And especially when Jalen Williams went out, they just needed him to be himself. And that was what we got tonight. 50% shooting game. Over the last 5 games, Scott, he'd been in the low 40s. This is a guy who shot 55% in the regular season. Got back to the line, got back to his mid-range, was able to shake free of those double teams, hunted getting to his spots, back to that 30-point number. Grade A MVP performance tonight, combined with the defense on Wembanyama. This is why this series is 1-1.
Agreed, and there were some big minutes from McCain, including a 3 that we showed in the highlight off glass, but he hit 2 huge ones, one after they got sort of an extra possession and a 2-point game. But I circled the number. Alex Caruso, if they won game 1, it would have been because of him. He was unbelievable. And he has 17 tonight and impacted this game in ways large and small. I mean, this is a guy who's his won rings in multiple places. I think it's hard to overstate the importance that he has had thus far.
17 points, plus 18, Scott. Plus 18 for Alex Caruso. Sometimes plus minus can be misleading. When you watch how he affects the game with so much intelligence, you know what? This guy's going to be a great head coach someday because he does so many smart things. He is able to impact the game in so many different ways. But in these first 2 games, his shooting, look, if he didn't make any shots, he would be incredibly valuable because of what he does defensively. With the guards' injuries piling up now, and with how much the Thunder need to be smart against Victor Wembanyama, it's mental warfare as much as it is physical. Caruso is worth his weight in platinum right now.
Platinum, he said. Brian, as are you. Appreciate the time and the perspective. What a great start to the playoffs. May it continue. I'll talk to you soon.
I wasn't able to bring my best game tonight. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you're your best version, sometimes you're not. You got to roll with the punches, don't get discouraged, and stay true to who you are.
Thunder leading by 5 in transition. Alex Caruso, who Brian Windhorst and I were just raving about, all the ways he impacted the game, feeds the MVP in transition. Shai, contested baseline Jay. See, first game he had 4 points in the first half, 15 in the first half of game 2 as they built an 11-point lead. Here it's the floater and 1, pushes the lead to 7, and then here poor Carter Bryant gets turned around and stumbles, and Shai hits that one as the lead is 8 after 3. Still just a 5-point game. If the Spurs get a stop here, you never know, but puts on the brakes, loses Castle just enough. That'll do it. Game high 30. They win by 9. There's Shai after evening things up.
Honestly speaking, I think we just did a better job of attacking them. In the first game, I still feel like we got like really good looks. They just didn't go down. But yeah, I guess just got a little bit more comfortable with their type of defense. Obviously, it's very unique and different from literally every other defense in the league, so it takes some getting used to. But we're still gonna have to keep getting better throughout this series if we want a chance to win the series. Really good team, really good defensive team, really good. They check all the boxes, so we're gonna have to continue to get better. Tonight wasn't good enough to win the series, and we know that. So we'll take the W, but we got to keep getting better.
Shai, these are right here. These are my words, not yours. But it's starting to feel like game ones are sort of your feel-out game. What changed for you from the other night to tonight?
Nah, I just have sucked when I get too long of a break. I don't think it's anything other than that. I don't know. I guess I got to do a better job with my breaks, especially during the playoffs. I don't know if it's anything other than that, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think it was with like 42 seconds left, you hit that midi that you were trying to hit for like 2 minutes straight, and you told the guys around you, like, calm down. You said it explicitly, but calm down. What'd you feel in that moment to tell them that?
Nah, Jared was yelling at me while I was shooting, and I was just like, bro, I'm shooting. Like, don't distract me. So yeah, that's all. I wasn't telling him. I was literally just telling Jared to calm down. But that's what great shooters do. Let you know when they're open. So yeah, we hashed it out. We're good.
Shai, his 27th